Let us try to solve the exercise number 8 in the part B of PHP lab. In this exercise, we are supposed to create a PHP application with the MySQL database. So we are supposed to create a database that contains the following field, that is the room number, which is the primary key, room type, and they are specified some of the room type like single, semi, single, deluxe, and so on and so forth. And there is also one field called as capacity and status. And what is that we are supposed to do is we are supposed to insert 5 records reflecting both the available and booked room. And then we are supposed to list all the rooms there. Apart from that, we are supposed to have two distinct buttons, one for check-in and one other one is for checkout. If the user clicks on the checked in button and if the for a particular room, and if everything is proper, then we have to say that that particular room is booked. And if the particular person leaves the room, we are supposed to change the status to available, and we are supposed to show the appropriate message when the room is booked and when the somebody is checking out, and if the room number itself is not present, as well as if the status is having a different value than the booked and available. So let's go ahead and let's create a PHP application. I'm going to use the NetBeans over here. You can always create a PHP directly by adding it to this existing project itself, because it's a single page application that you are developing it. There is no need that you have to create multiple projects for different things. But anyhow, I'm going to start with the new project. So I'm going to click on the file and new project. And as usual, I'm going to select the PHP as my application. And I have nothing else to be done except giving the name of this particular application. And I'm going to go to the next and just give a name to the application. And I'm going to say hotel reservation. You can give any name for your project. I'm going to give the name as a hotel reservation. And there is nothing much to be done over here. I'm not going to make any changes to anything. I'm going to just click on finish it off, because there is nothing much you can do with the current project. So once the PHP application is created, let's first create a database. That is what they are expecting us to do. So if you look at here, we are supposed to create a database, and then within that database, I am supposed to create a table. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go to the my xampp control panel over here, and I'm going to click on under the MySQL. We have the admin over here. I'm going to click on this admin of MySQL, and when I click on it, I'm going to get the admin interface over here, and I'm supposed to create a new database. So if you go to the right hand side over here, you will notice that you have an option for creating a new table. So I'm a new database. I'm going to click on this new, and the MySQL is going to create the new database for me. You can give any name to the database, and I'm going to give the name of this database as a hotel. If it is already there, give some other name. As usual, you can give hotel followed by your register number or anything else you can give. So don't repeat the database name, because it must be unique. Let's click on create to create a new database. And within this database, we are supposed to create a table. That is what they are saying. So I have the minute I create a new database, you notice that a new hotel DB is created, and it is asking for the name of the room. So let me give the name of the table as a room table. Okay, you can give anything, room table. Okay, rooms table, let's say, make it as plural. Okay, rooms table. And how many fields are there? So you must if you have given less number, you can always add it at the later stage. Again, if you have given more number, you can delete them in the later stage, so don't worry about it. But I'm going to just count how many rooms are there. So if you look at here, the first room is the room number. This is what they are expecting, room number. This is the one field, room type, second, and the capacity and status. So altogether there will be 4 fields in that particular room, and by default the MySQL will also give you the 4 rooms there. So let me click on create to create the rooms for that particular table. So what MySQL is going to do is it's going to create a table called as a rooms table, and within that table it's going to give you some details. So let's look at what are the things it is doing. So we are supposed to create a room number which is primary key. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say room number. And very important thing that you must understand over here is whenever you give the field name, it is always advisable not to give spaces in between the field names. It's like a variable. If you give spaces, what will happen? You yourself will be in trouble. So that is it. Nothing is going to happen. It won't give you an error or something. When you try to retrieve the values, you will have to struggle a lot to retrieve those values from those fields, which have spaces in between and so on. So don't avoid creating or inviting trouble to yourself. So this is what I have done. Without space, I'm typing room number. Let it be integer because I'm not going to type something great over here. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a primary key for it by clicking on this page, because they have said that it must be a primary key. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select here and I'm going to make this as primary key. One thing you must understand is the minute you make this one as the primary key, the MySQL will maintain an index which is actually a sorted index. So be careful with that. It will maintain a sorted index for it. You don't need to do anything about it. Just click OK. Let it do whatever it wants. Let click OK. And that being done, so you got this one room number as the primary key. Let's look at the next one. Next one is the room type. Even though I'm copying it from here, you must be careful when you are typing, not this, I'm sorry. When you are typing something, see to it that you don't put the spaces between the room type. So it is a single word, room type. So there is no spaces in between. So room type, let's look at what they have given over here is it must be a varchar. So because these are some of the things that you are supposed to give it to them. So this must be a varchar. So let's go ahead and I'm sorry. So let's make it as a varchar. I'm going to make it as I think 25 is sufficient for let me just bring it here. So I don't think so it will go beyond 25 characters. Hopefully 1 2 3 4 5. I think it won't go. Okay, or you make it as 50 because I have to incorporate those names there, single, deluxe, single. Okay, so this is I think within 20 it's going to come. So room type is over, and let's go ahead with the capacity. And the capacity, I'm going to assume that it is integer number because 2 people can stay, 3 people can stay, and so on and so forth. It's an integer. So how many length will be there? Remember, if you just say integer, the length automatically will come. If at all you say numbers, you can specify some values there. And finally, I have the status. Again, I'm going to make the status as 20. I think within 10 it's going to come, but I will make it as 20 in order to avoid unnecessary problems. So I'm going to just, what is this? I'm going to just paste this one, status, and I'll take it as varchar and 20. You can make it as 10 also. So this is what I have done. I have created a room number which is integer and which is primary key. And the other one is the room type, varchar 25 character, capacity is integer, status is varchar. That being done, let's click go down and let's click save to save the database. So this to save this particular table. And if you look at this particular table now, this table has been created for us, and there is nothing much to be done. And by default, you notice that integer, the size is taken as 11. whatever it is, let it take, because we are not going to type more than 5 records there. Now let's go ahead and let's build the application. What are the things that they have said? Now, if you look at here, we are supposed to insert 5 records into this particular table using the interface. So let's first create a PHP page which is going to do that thing for us. So I'm going to go with the NetBeans, and the NetBeans has already created something for me, and this is something that we really don't want. This is just added by the NetBeans. Just delete it. It's actually a remark statement. Let's go ahead and let's say give a title as hotel reservation. So I'm going to say hotel reservation. Okay, reservation. Okay, reservation. Done. Let me give a title. I'm going to just give H2 as the title, just to say that it is hotel reservation. So let's say hotel reservation. Okay. I'm going to give a style, and I'm going to make it as center. So I'm going to say inline style. Okay. Text align, and I'm going to say center. Okay. So this is how it's going to look like. If you really want to know, I'm going to just run this particular file. Right click and just say run file. That's it. You don't need to do anything else. Right click and just run this particular file, and it's going to start the browser, and it's going to show you the output. It may take a slightly longer time in my case. In your machine it may be faster if you just right click and run it. So just let me try one more time. Okay, whether it is, I'm not sure whether it got connected or not. Okay, let me go ahead with the other part because my machine is going a bit slow. I'm going to go ahead with the other part. So let's add the first part that we are supposed to do is insert 5 records. I'm going to add insert 5 records into my so-called database. So let's use the H3 heading, and I'm going to say add rooms to my hotel. So I'm going to say add rooms, and I'm going to start with the form because we are going to use form, and let me say the method is post. Okay. So let the method be post. So I'm going to add this particular form, and if you notice this is how it's going to come, hotel reservation right at the center. It took slightly longer time because my machine is somehow has become a bit slow. So this is what you're going to do. I run it 2 times, and it's going to faithfully show it 2 times. Let's go ahead and let's do something else with it. I'm going to use a table so that it's going to arrange it in a proper manner. So I'm going to say table, and table has a row. So I'm going to say row, and there will be column td will be the column, and I'm going to say room number, and let's say I'm going to put a one more td. This is the second column, and I'm going to say input type is equal to text. How come it went out? Type is equal to text, and name is equal to say room number. Okay, so you can write like this. So if I save it, and if I just refresh this one, this is how it's going to come. Add room numbers. This is because of this H3 that I have added here, and then I have a room number. In front of it I have the room number. Let's go ahead with the next row. Okay, and I'm going to copy paste this, Control C and Control V here. Next one is the room type. Okay, and I'm going to use a drop down box for this one. So I don't want this thing over here. So within this TD, I'm going to use a drop down, and you know very well to create a drop down you use select. So I'm going to use select. Okay, and I'm going to give a name for this so that I can refer to them, and I'm going to say this is a room type. Okay. So that is it, and within the select you have a lot of options are there. So I'm going to start with the option, and I'm going to say the first option is what they have specified over here, and the first option that if you look at it here, room number is a single semi. So this is the what they have specified. So I'm going to say where is this option, and option single semi, I'm going to make a single semi, and I'm going to use slash option. Okay, that's it. And I'm going to copy a few options one after the other, Control C and Control V a few times so that I don't have to do it too many times. So single semi is the first room number, room type, and the second one is single deluxe. So this is the single deluxe. Single is already there. Let me go to this one, single deluxe. So let's single deluxe, and let's look at what else. Double semi. So I think semi is already there. So let me go ahead and let's make it as double semi. So double semi, and the next one is double deluxe. So let's copy this one and say double deluxe. Double deluxe, and last one is dormitory. So let's go ahead and add this one as a dormitory. So this is done. Let me close this, and the extra I've added one extra, so I'm going to remove one extra from here. Okay, so this is the options, and if you save it and just refresh it over here, this is how it's going to look like. So you have all the options here with the different options coming over there. Let me go ahead with the next option. What is the next option is the capacity. So let me copy this one. I'm going to copy one row, tr to tr, whatever it is there. I'm going to just copy it, Control C, and after td, remember, I'm going to, after tr, this tr, I'm going to just paste it. So next one is capacity. So I'm going to just copy this one, capacity, Control C, and let me put it here, Control C and Control V over here, and let me call it as capacity. So let's save it, and if you look at here and just refresh it, save and refresh it, and it should come there. So did I save it here? Let me save it. Okay. And let me refresh it. Okay, so this is the capacity where I'm going to type the capacity, and let me Control C from here and Control V to this part. And what is the next option that we have is the status. Control C to copy from here, and where is it gone? Control V for status, and as usual, status is not the text box. I'm going to make it as let me just try it here. I'm going to make it as select. Let me complete that select, and you have option. One option. Let's look at two options which are available, and what are the options which are available. One is the booked, and the other one is available. I'm going to keep it as it is because I'm not going to make it as capital. Booked, they have given it as booked. If you want to make it as capital, I will not make it as capital because they have said that let it be there. And the next, I've just copy pasted it. I copied this one, Control C, and pasted it over here. And let's look at what is the next one. Next one is the available. So let's go ahead and let's do this one, available. Next one is available. Control V to paste it. And finally, I need a button. So if you look at here, it may come because it's going to take some time. I'm going to make one last option over here. Control, I think I can make it with the tr, okay, tr and tr, and within that tr, let's say td, one td, and I'm going to keep it blank, and the other td, I'm going to keep it a input. Type is submit, and name is a submit, okay, submit sub button, let's say submit button, and value is save. Okay, let me do that. Control C. Let me suspend the previous one. Okay, just to avoid the machine getting slowed. And with that being done, let's go ahead and let's refresh it. And this is what you're going to get it. A room number, you're going to type it. You're going to select something. You're going to type some capacity, and you're going to say whether it's available, and then you say save. The things must be saved. So let's go ahead with the PHP, and let's handle what we are supposed to do with the PHP part. Okay, I'm going to use a function here that is going to connect to my database, and it's going to give me a connection back to me. So let's try to write a function, because I'm going to use this function very often. So this function is get connection. So what is this get connection? This is the get connection to my database. So I want to connect to the database. So I'm going to do that thing. So I'm going to say connections. So n is equal to my SQL I, okay, underscore, let's say connect. Okay, I'm going to use anyone, you can use it. Let's say I'm going to use this one because I want to even the database connection. So what is the host name? You know very well. It is localhost. Localhost. What is the username? Root. Password is not there. What is the name of the database? So you must be careful whenever you are using this database. What is the name of the database that we have given? Hotel DB. This is the name of the database that you have given. That is the Hotel DB, and you must use the same name over here. So you are going to say Hotel DB. So this is what you're going to do it. Okay, and I'm going to check whether the connection was established. If not the dollar connection, that means if the connection was not possible, then I'm going to say echo. You can say echo, or you can say print, and I'm going to say could not connect to the database. Could not connect to the database. Okay, that's it. And then I'm going to simply kill this application. There is nothing that you can do it. Otherwise, what you can do is otherwise you're going to return the connection. So this is what this particular thing is going to do. So it's going to connect to the database. It is going to try to connect to the database, and if it is successful, it's going to return the connection back to you. Otherwise, it's going to die and say that it's not possible to connect to the database for any reason. That being done, so let's try to add the things to the database. So I'm going to check if okay, this submit button is clicked. So this submit button is there. What is the name of this submit button? Is SABBTN. So when somebody clicks on, where is this gone? When somebody clicks on this save button, what is that we are supposed to do it? So if I'm going to say is set, okay, because I'm using the post method. Remember, my method is post here. If you look at my form here, where is my form? The method is post here. So underscore post. If this button is clicked, okay, then what is that we are supposed to? First of all, I'm going to get all the values from the form. So this form is there. All the values which are submitted, I'm going to take them one after the other. So I'm going to say room number. I'll take it as R number. Room number is $_post. And I'm going to take that variable. What is the name of the variable that we have given for this room number? So that is ROOM, room number. So I'm going to copy them and I'm going to just paste it here. This is for the room number. In the same way, I'm going to go with the one more thing, that is the room name or a room type, not room name, room type. And what is the name that we have given for this selection is room type. We got that thing. And let me, not this room type, I don't want this one. I want 4 variables. I'm going to just copy them one after the other. Copy this. Okay, done. And what else we have here is the capacity. So this is capacity. I'm going to take it as capacity. I'm going to reduce the variable as CAP. Let me put a short variable over here. And the last one is select. Let me give a variable name for this one. I'm going to give the name for this one as what you can say, status. Okay, so that is I've given a name for that select button. Otherwise, it's not possible for me to get the variable from there. So this will be the status, and for short you can say stat. Okay, dollar. We just remove that dollar. Okay, let me format it so that it looks neat. Okay, done. So we got all the variables, and let's get connect to the database. We need a query to insert something into the database. So I'm going to create a variable called as query, and I'm supposed to write the query again. If you are not aware of the query, just go to the MySQL over here, and then you have an option for insert. Okay, so you just click on insert, and then start adding the value. Say room number 101. Okay, room type is something. Room type, forget about the type, you're not going to insert it. Room capacity is 2 and room status is stat. Now you are not going to type go here. Okay, if you just don't click on go here, instead go down and you have an option preview SQL. Okay, just click on preview SQL. It's going to show you the SQL. This is the SQL that you are supposed to use it. Just copy it and just paste it over here. So from here, just take it, Control C, from here, Control C, and come here and the query and Control V to paste it over here. So that's simple as that. Okay, but I'm going to reduce it still further because I don't want, this is not something that I expected. I don't want this one. Remember, if you're deleting the field names, then you must provide the field names in the same order as how it is mentioned in your table structure. So whatever table structure you have it here, it must be in the same order. First room number must come, then room type must come, then capacity and status. This order you have to maintain it whenever you are inserting. However, you can reduce the query. So I'm going to remove all unwanted things from here. So it has put a backcode. Can you see there? It has put a backcode. I'm going to remove all those backcodes and make it simple. So this is insert into rooms table. Values. What is the first value? First value is the room number. That's a variable name. So I'm going to double click over here, $R number. So that's it. Second value is the room type. So double click over here, type dollar and you say R type. Next one is the capacity. So you remove it, $CAP. Okay, you can press enter. It's going to add it. Last one is the status. So dollar and you are going to say stat. Remember, this single quote is required for the query. That single quote is required, and I'm not touching those single quotes there. So can you see there, single quote, and that comma separation, everything should be there. I'm not making any changes there. So that's being done. Let's go ahead and let's get the connection. Remember, in order for you to get connected, we are going to call this function, which is going to return a connection if the connection is successful. So I'm going to say $conn is equal to C, not ONN. CONN connection is equal to, what is the name of the function that I have used is the get connection. Remember, this is the function that I created here, get connection, and I'm going to call that get connection function here. Okay, so I'm going to get the connection to my database. If it is not able to connect to the database, you know very well, if for some reason it's not able to connect to the database, this thing is going to fail altogether. That function itself is going to fail. So we are not going to check whether the connection is there or not. If you have passed this line, means you have the connection with you. If you are not able to pass this line, means you have an error in connecting to the database. So let's go ahead with the next part. Assume that I have the connection, and within the connection I'm going to run this query. So what is the query? So I'm going to say connection, and I'm going to say query. So automatically, because I have given the name of this variable as query, automatically it's going to take this name directly over here. You don't have to type. That's the reason I've taken that variable name as query itself. So if you are able to run this particular query, and if this query returns true, that means it has returned the true, that means to say that you are able to connect to the database. So that's simple as that. So if connection dot query is equal to true, what is it saying to me is okay. So if this query dot connection is equal to, let me, how many, so okay, 3 are enough. I think I made as 4. Okay, if it is equal to true, then you are going to say that the room is, your query is successful. Then you're going to say that room details are saved. Room details are saved. Okay. Otherwise, as usual, else you are going to echo, and you're going to say that could not save the, what is the save the room details. Okay, done. Let's look at this one, and finally I'm going to just close the connection. I'm going to say connection dot close. Okay, I need to close the connection. If you don't close the connection, what's going to happen? The PHP will automatically close the connection for you, so don't worry about it. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's click refresh over here. Room number is 101. A single room, let it be, capacity is 1. It is available. Let me say save. So room details are saved, it says. Let me go to the table over here, and let me click on the browse on this table. So if you click on this browse on this table, you must get the option, as you can see there. Under here, you can just see there, whatever I have added is available here. So you are able to add something to the database. So one is enough. So let's go ahead with the next part. And what is the next part that they are saying? And where is my question gone? Oh, I think I closed my question. Where is that question gone? Okay. Let me pause the video, and I'm going to open, I don't know, where is it gone now? So let's look at the second part. What is the second part that we are supposed to do is, so there must be two distinct buttons. So two distinct buttons, check-in and check-out. So let's add that particular option to our table over here. So let's go ahead and let's add that particular thing. So I'm going to go out of this PHP part. So this PHP is over. So after this PHP, so this is my PHP wherein I have got the connection, and I'm adding something to the database. And let's start with the next part, and that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the h3 again, and I'm going to say booking. Okay, so this is booking, and let me add something over here. I'm going to start with the form again, so I will start with the form. Okay, form, and I'm going to say method is post. Okay, done. And what are the things? They said that there must be two buttons. That is what they have said, that there must be two buttons, two distinct buttons, check-in and check-out. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do it. So two buttons, check-in and check-out, will be the one. And what else you are supposed to do with that particular thing? So two buttons must be there. Ensure that, and there must be a text box. So if you read from here, provide a text box for entering the room number, and two distinct button, check-in and check-out. So one text box and two buttons. So let's go ahead and let's start doing with that particular thing. So I'm going to say input, and the type of it is text. Text. And what else you need? Give a name for this one, and I'm going to say this one is room number. That's it. That's done. And what else you need? I need one more input. And what is the type of it? Type of it is submit, because it is going to be a button. And what is the name? The name is check-in. There are two buttons must be there. One is check-in and the other one is check-out. And the value is definitely check-in. Remember, when you give the value, give it properly, so that it's going to come as the text on the top of the button there. So let's go ahead and let's do the other part. And I'm going to say input. Okay, and I'm going to say type is again submit. Two submit buttons will be there. Name of it will be check out. Remember, whenever you are giving the name, remember difference between name and value. Value is something that is shown. So something that is shown on the screen should be beautiful. Name is a variable and it need not be beautiful, but it must not contain any spaces. So that you must be careful. When you say name, it's a variable name. So this variable name will not contain spaces, you know very well. That, so, but the value is something that is shown on the screen. So make it look beautiful. So I'm going to say check out, check out. So that is it. I'm going to just save it. Control S to save it, and I will go here and I'm going to just refresh it. I'm going to just press enter here, so that it's going to come. So booking, you type the room number here, and 101, and you say check-in or check-out. So that's what you're supposed to do it. And what is that you are supposed to do? If it is they have given over here, so if the booking, if you are able to book it, change the status as book. If it is not, change the status as available. And when you are booking it, if the room is already booked, you cannot book it again. So you have to give an error message. If suppose the room is already booked, for example, in my case, this room, the status is available. So I can book this room because it is available. Suppose if it is already booked, you cannot book it one more time. So you must give an error message. Suppose if it is available, then you can't check out because it's already checked out. You cannot check out a room which is already vacated. Okay, so you have to check that thing. Suppose apart from this, if suppose the status has some other values, you have to say that there is something wrong with your story and correct it. So this is what we have. Let's start with the PHP part. Now I'm going to go with the PHP, and so let's go with the PHP part now. And what is that? So two buttons are there. Either you are going to type the check-in button or you are going to type the check-out button. So if you say you are going to press the check-in button, what is that you are supposed to do. So let's go ahead. If is set, because I'm using the method is post here. See, my method is post. I'm going to use dollar post and dollar post. And what is it? Variable name is check-in. If this button is clicked, if the check-in button is clicked, remember the variable for this button is check-in, and I'm typing that, not the values. Value has is just for showing it. It is not used in the actual code. So if this button is clicked, what is that you are going to do? Remember, you are typing the room number, and we need that room number. This room number that you are typing here, this room number is required. So let's first get that room number. So I'm going to say $r number. R number is equal to $_post, because we are posting all the things there. And what is the name of it? The name is room number. So I'm going to say room number. So that's it. You got the room number. First you get the room number. And I'm going to run a query there. What is the query that I'm going to get? So I'm going to get the status. What is the status of that particular room? Because I want to know what is the, where is it? I want to know what is the status of this particular room, because if the room is available, then I can think of booking something, or if it is not there, I can say that no, that room is not available, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to run a query there. So I will type this query, and I'm not going to show the query because I don't think so this query is going to be a very difficult thing. Select status from the table name. What is the table name that I had here was what was the name? Rooms table. So from rooms table. Okay, where, okay, room number, where this room number, what you have, this room number, where room number equal to dollar R number. What is this R number? R number is the one that I am taking. So this is R number that you have taken. So this is the R number. Let me just run this query first, and just to show you that whether this particular query is running. So just I'm going to Control C. I'm going to just run this query for you. Not really required, but for the demonstration purpose, I'm doing it. I'm going to just paste it here. And what is the rooms table? And let me click on go here. If the query is successful, you're going to get something, and you get this one. Okay, room number is not a variable. Room number is 101. Remember, just say room number is 101, because that is a PHP variable. So what is that I'm going to get? I'm going to get this part over here. So status, you notice that this particular thing, status is available. I think that available is coming like this. Let me just to see the browse, and let's see what is it available. It's coming. Okay, available is there. Okay. So when I run this particular query, what was my query? So room number is this variable. I'm going to remove it because it's a PHP variable. I'm going to say room available is so room type, where is this gone now? Where room number is 101, and it is not returning anything this time. What is the, okay, here? So it is returning. My eyesights are also creating problem. So this is available. So it's going to say the status of that particular room number. In other words, it's going to give me the status. You may have more than one room, but it's going to give you the what is the status of that particular room. So whether that is available, whether it is booked, or whether it is something else. Based on that, you can take an action. So when you run this particular query, you are going to get the status. Now there are one other thing that can happen. What is the other thing that can happen is you may not even get anything there. So what is the meaning of that? So suppose, let me run this query again. And suppose if I say room number is 102, which is not there, you know very well, I'm going to get an empty result. So there is nothing is there. It has sent a empty result set because it is not there. So two things can happen. Either you may get the status, which is either booked or available, or you may have a room number which is not there. So anything can happen. So let's take care of that. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to first run this query. In order to run this query, I need to get this connection. So I'm going to say connection is equal to, I have created a function called as get connection. Remember, the first thing that I did was I created a connection function called as get connection. I'm going to get that connection. And once I get this connection, I'm going to get the result of that particular connection. I will say result is or result set, whatever you can say. Result is I'm going to say connection, and I'm going to say query, and I'm going to run this query. Okay, so this is the query that I just created. I'm going to run this particular query, and I'm going to check how many rows are available. If this, what is this result. So when I run this query, I'm going to get a result. If this result has a number of rows, so how many rows are there? So if the number of rows are greater than 0, that means if there is at least one row, you are going to do something else. If there is empty, so even in this, when you run this particular query, and if the result is empty, that means it is not greater than 0, it is 0. In that case, your work is done almost immediately. What you are going to say is echo. You're going to say room number, not this one, room number, and I'm going to say, I'll put it in double quotes. Okay, there's a reason for that, you know very well. Dollar $R number, remember this is a variable that I just created. R number does not exist. It exists. Done. Otherwise, you're going to check in, check out, or do something else. Okay, so if when you run this particular query, and when you run this particular query, and if you suppose say you have this query here, and this is the first thing, if the room number is 102, which is not there, and if you run this query, you are going to get the number of rows is 0, because it's going to return 0 rows. Can you see there? It's going to return 0 rows. That means to say that the room does not exist. Simple as that. Now suppose if you run this particular query, and if 101 exists, you know very well, I have just created 101, and if I run it, you're going to get something. Okay, can you see that status? Can you see this status? At least one row is giving, so it is giving some rows. Okay, a total of one row it is trying to show. That means it is a number of rows is greater than 0. So you got it. If the number of rows is greater than 0, let's first get this status. I'm going to get this status. What is the status? What is the value of this status? Is it available, or whether it is booked, or whether it is available? I want this status value. I want it. So let's get that value there from the status. And I'm going to say, how can I say that thing? I'm going to say, go to this result, and I'm going to say, fetch the row. Okay, fetch the row, and in particular, within this, remember, it's going to give me like an array, and I want the first, arrays are there. You've studied arrays. Okay, so array, let me show it like this. You are familiar with this array. So these arrays are there. So first element has the index 0, you know. second element has the index 1, third element has the index 2, and there is only one first element. That first element is either available or, notice that where is the result gone now? So there is only one row is there. So this is the only one thing that is there. Okay, so this is index of 0. Only one value is there, only one element in this array. The first, if you have this array, first element, that is array of 0, will have this value available or whatever it is. It's going to get that thing. Status is available at 0. So I'm going to, don't get confused. This whole thing is going to return, when you say fetch row, it's going to return an array containing a lot of things, and I want the first element, that is the index element at the index 0. So I'm going to just put I want the element at the index 0, so don't get confused. So this is to say that from this array, give me the first element. So I want the, from this array that you got. Okay, so from this array, there may be many elements. Give me the first element at the index location 0. So this is the one that I want, whatever value which is there. So that is why I have set this directly. I have set it there. So I got the first element, and I'm going to just check it. If okay, if the dollar status, okay, status, this is it. Be careful, this is status, don't get confused, this is status. So this status, if it is equal to booked, okay, then you are going to do something else. If I'm going to copy this one, status can be two things. Either it is booked, in this case, in my case, it is not booked, it is available. Where is let me run this query again. I think I lost that query now. Where is this query? Let me get this query now. Okay, sorry, that query is gone. Okay, so let me run that query. Let me go here and let me get that query. So just give me a second. Where is this? Select a star from there. Let me get this query. Okay, so let me get this query here, and this is 101, and I'm going to run this query. Now the status, if you notice over here, the status is either available, or what is the other value that you can give. Other value that you can give to this status, if you look at over here, is there are two values you can give. Let me show it over here only. Either the status is booked or available, either two among them. So either it is booked or it is available, one among them. So you can say either the status, where is it gone? Either the status is booked or status is available. Okay, I'm going to just copy paste it in order to avoid unnecessary problem. I'm going to double click on here, Control C in the option button. So in this, you are getting this one. I'm just copying that available from there. So this available, so that if I made a spelling mistake, let that spelling mistake be there even when I'm checking for that. Okay, or else you may have some other value. Somebody might have simply went and changed the values. Three things can happen. Now, two are definitely, you know very well, two things are definitely either booked or available. Or somebody who knows how to use the database might have come here to this browse, and they might have edited this field altogether. So they can always change this field. You can say edit and then change this particular field. Somebody might have done that thing. Okay. So if somebody has done that thing, then you can't do anything, because the status itself is something that you don't expect it to be there. Okay, so you can say that there is something wrong in it. So you can say echo this. I'm going to do that particular thing. Okay, error unexpected status for the room. Okay, so why did I say that particular thing is they said that uh, it is not in the unexpected status. It is not in the expected status. That not in the expected is unexpected. Unexpected status. Okay. Two things I have taken. If the room number is not there or unexpected status. So I two things. Where is my thing gone? Room is not there. Unexpected status is there. Now, do you want to book it or do you want to say I can't book it? These are two things. Now let's look at the status. What is that I am going to do? Check in. So that means I am entering into the room. When I enter into the room, if somebody else is already there, that is what is the meaning of it is it's already booked. Somebody is already, I open the door and see that somebody is already sleeping in the cot. Will I go and stay in that room? I need to say, no, I can't stay in this particular room. Not because it's already booked, somebody else is already occupied. So what you are going to say to them is if it is booked, you can book it again. I hope my logic is proper. So if the room is already booked, you can't check in. So I'm going to say politely, I'm going to say echo, and I'm going to what you can say sorry to learn English now. Room number $R number is already booked. It is already booked. Okay. Now, if it is available, then what you can do, you can book it. So simple as that. How do you book it? You have to run a query. So simple as that. So you run a query. What is the query? What is the query that you are going to run? Okay. So you are going to say, okay, what is that you are going to say? Update. Hope I'm going to type this one because you've studied the SQL in your fourth semester, I suppose. So update rooms table. What is this update rooms table? If you want, I can generate that particular thing over here. Where is the thing? I'm going to just run this particular thing. Okay. So I'm going to say update. Okay. Update rooms table. Okay. Set room number is not the status. This is not required. Capacity is not required. All things are not required. Set the status is equal to some value. What is the value? Status, see, once you book it, the status will be available. Okay, now I'm going to make it as booked because it's already there. Okay, so status is booked where, very important thing, where, okay, room number is equal to 101. If you don't do this one, if you forget to write this where condition, all the rows will get updated. So very careful with that particular thing. So you know that our control set, our current status, let me just show you the status. Our current status is available. Now if I run this query, I have to just copied it. I'm not going to type it again. If I run this query, if I say go, and it must say that one row is affected. If I go to this browse, and it must be now booked. Okay, so this is what it should have happened. And if I suppose if I run it again, and if I say from the booked, if I say available, okay, my spelling is, so if it is proper, so if it is available, okay, then if I run it, remember it should change itself to one row is affected, and it should change itself and say that. Let me show you that particular thing. My machine is a bit slow, so it is available. So this is the query that I'm going to run it. So let me write that query. So, okay, where room number is not 101, room number is R number, room number. Okay, so that is simple as that. And I'm going to put the semicolon here. Now one thing you must notice that see, it will add backcodes whenever you are doing it, whenever you are creating a, where is it gone, SQL. It generally adds a backcode. If you notice over here, it's going to add this backcode. It's nothing wrong with it, but I'm going to remove that backcode because we are not used to looking at that backwards. Okay, I'm going to just remove this. Remember, nothing. It's not going to create any problem, but I do not want to invite trouble, so I'm going to just remove this backcode. Now, if you're wondering why this has put a backcode, is suppose if you had put the spaces instead of saying room space table as the field name, then you need that backcode. That's why I told you not to venture into putting spaces for the field names. So this is the query that we have going to do it. So the from the available, the status will be changed to booked, and we have to run this particular query. So let's run this particular query. We are going to say if okay, dollar connection, and I'm going to say run this particular query. So what is this query? Remember, because the name you may get confused. This query is the variable name that I'm using. So some of you may be wondering why query 2 times it is coming. This is actually a update into that this whole story. Okay, that is it. Okay, if this is equal to true, okay, if this is equal to true, then it's all over. Okay, if it is equal to true, then what you are going to say, your work is done. You must relax now and say that. Okay, room number dollar r number is successfully booked. You can give any message. Suppose if it is the query is not running, for your bad luck, if something is not happening, then you may say that error while error, let's say, could not book the room. Please try again. Okay, so let them try again. So that is being done. Let me put a semicolon over here, and this is what they have done. So I have taken care of all of them. So many things are possible. If successfully booked in, we're going to give the thing. If the room number is not there, we are going to give the message. And if some unexpected things has happened, we are going to take care of it. Let's go ahead and let's see whether we are able to book the room. So this our room number is 101, and it is currently available. Let me note here. Where is it gone? So this let me show you this status of this particular room. It is available, and I'm going to say check-in, and the room number 1 is successfully booked. Let me go here and let me click on browse, and it is booked. What happens if I say check-in again? Okay, sorry, room number is already booked. You got that. What about the checkout? Checkout story is exactly same. Only thing is it is opposite of booking. So if it is booked, you can vacate. If it is already vacated, that means it is already available. You can't come out of it again. If nobody is there, only ghost can come out. So I am not going to waste my energy in doing this one. But before I close this one, let's look at this if statement. I'm going to put can you see there, can you see this uh, green color thing? If you go down somewhere, it's going to show you the closing button for this green. So this green and this green are the opening and closing button of if statement. So as a good person, I'm going to just say connection dot close, because I want to show to the world that I am also a good person who cares about the connection to the database. I'm going to say close the connection with the database, because I just opened the connection here, get connection, and politely I'm saying that I'm also a good person, and I know how to close the connection. Let's go ahead with the checkout story. So checkout story is exactly same as check-in story. So I'm going to copy this whole thing. But what I've noticed is, your dear students, some of you are simply typing it. What is the use? So I feel like you should use the notepad. You have to use copy paste to copy this whole thing so that you can save time. There must be some reason why you are using NetBeans. Okay, don't insult the NetBeans by typing it manually. Okay, it is an insult to the people who have spent so much of energy in giving you such a good tool. Okay, so let's. What I've done, by the way, is I've copied this if statement, full if statement till the end, whole thing, whatever I've typed for check-in, the whole thing, I've copied it. Slightly go down, paste it one more time. Remember, this is the pasted option. The first one is this check-in option. Next time again check-in will come. It is not check-in. Next time it is check-out. So Control C. First time it is check-in. Second time it is check-out. There is nothing much to be done over here. What is that you are going to see? Is you are going to change this query. You can. I'm going to just make it as if the room is available. I'm going to copy it here. If the room is available, you are going to say that the room number is already vacated. Vacated. Okay, I hope that spelling is proper. Vacated. Otherwise, if the room is booked, remember, if the room is available, you say that room is already vacated. If it is booked, you can now change the status as only thing is available. Available. So only thing that you are going to do this is available. Okay. So you are going to say successfully vacated. I don't know. I'm not good in English, so this spelling may be wrong. Okay? If it is wrong, you correct it because you studied English in the first semester, in the second semester. I am just typing programs, so nobody taught me English. So my spelling may be wrong. Okay. Error could not vacate. Vacate. I think this spelling. I hope I don't. Okay. Please try again. Otherwise, unexpected error. So see, within no time, it is all over. Just save it. And let me say this is you're changing the status to available. Let me press enter. Not really required. Room number 101. Before I try it, it is already booked. I'm going to vacate it. Remember, I say check in, it's already booked in. If I say check out, is successfully vacated. Can you see it here in the when I go to the browse, and if I look at here, it is available now because it's vacated. Now suppose if I say 101 and check out again, okay, check out again, it should say that sorry is already vacated. So done. What's the last thing that we are supposed to do? So last thing is a list out all. I done it in the other way around because I don't know what is the order in which they said, but I'm going to do it in the other way around. There is a reason I'm going to tell you at the end why I put it at the. You may say that no, this should have come first and this should have come next because here before this was done, they have already said that there must be two buttons, a text box and two buttons must be there. So I'm following that, and then so that's why it came first. This thing came first, booking came first. Okay, because it is written in the order, but anyhow, three things are there. They never said that it should come in that particular order, and I'm going to tell you why I did that thing. There is a personal interest or maybe a bad interest behind doing it, and I'm going to tell you at the end why I did the listing of available room at the end. Okay, and you will also appreciate why I did that thing, and you will say that okay, what you did was correct. So let's start with the H3 now, the last option. And what is the last option? List of a list of rooms. Okay, let's do that thing. And we are going to use PHP directly over here because this one is should be available. List of rooms. And what is that? We need a connection, definitely. Okay, we need a connection. How do you get this connection? Get connection. Okay, what is happening here? get connection. Get done. And what is, how can I get to the list of connection? I'm not going to try this particular thing, but if at all somebody doesn't know how to get a list of rooms available, go to SQL and then say select star from the room where condition is not required. You just run it and it should list all the rooms. Okay, so what is the statement? Select a star from. I don't know whether you will even want to copy that particular thing. So maybe I'm going to do it. Okay, what is that? So what is our query? What is the query? Okay, query is select control V, select star from this table. Again, I'm going to remove this backward that it has added. It's not really required, but I think you can type it. This if you don't know this part means it is difficult. Okay, so select star from the rooms table. Done. That's the query. You get all of them. Okay, and you get the result of this result set. I'm going to call it as a result. If you want, you can say RS for result set. Okay, but anyhow, okay. Let's say connection dot run this particular query, and that is it. Again, don't get confused why there are two queries are there. First one is the actual function name query. Second one is this variable name. Okay, query. Okay, so you get that thing. Now I'm going to close the PHP story here. Okay, and I'm going to give some space here and I'm going to start the PHP one more time. Okay, I'm going to start it again because I want to create a table here with the HTML. So I'm going to say table. Okay, let me put the border for this particular table as a border. A border is equal to, remember, border is now ruled out. You're not supposed to use the border because if you are HTML teacher uh, glances over this, they will definitely punish you for using border. Use CSS for getting the borders, but during the examination, you cannot expect somebody to do all these things. So let's get the first part here. What is the first part? Is TH. So this is a header. First one is the room number. So that's the first one, room number. And I'm going to just copy this maybe 3 more times. Okay. Then room, what was the thing was there? Room type. And what else was there? Capacity, I think. Capacity. The last one is status. Okay, so this is going to be the heading section. Okay, so if you just save it. And let me just show you how is it going to look like if I just press enter here. This is how it's going to look. Room number, room type, capacity, status. Just come like this. And the next one is the real things that has to be come. So I'm going to start my PHP here. PHP and PHP. So here we are going to start with the while loop. So you know very well. So while, what is this? While, okay, get one row at a time. A row is equal to result. So dollar result. This is my result set. From the result set, fetch the array at a time. Fetch. I'm going to fetch the array. Fetch array. Okay, you can use the other option also. Fetch array. Okay, and you are going to close this while loop here. But within this while loop, I want HTML. So I'm going to close this PHP. And I'm going to open PHP here. Remember, what I've done is just look at this part. This is one PHP. While loop is starting here. Okay, this is the other PHP, and within this PHP, while loop is closing. So this opening and closing. In between, you have HTML. Okay, so this in between you get this HTML, so be careful. So this one is this PHP has only one part, and that is a closing bracket of this one. Okay, so let's go out. So this from here up to here, this is while loop, but in between you have HTML, because I have closed the PHP part here. It's going to start with the HTML. So let's start with the HTML. I'm going to create one row, and within one row I'm going to use one column, and within this column I am going to show the value. I'm going to use the shortcut form of PHP. And what is this? I am supposed to show. Remember, I am fetching one row at a time. Okay, cancel this one. I'm getting one row at a time. So you know very well, I told you, when you get this row, you get a array. Okay, array. Okay. From this array, get the value, one value, get the value, one value, and get the value, and show it here. So that's simple as that. I'm going to get one value. So I'm going to say row. You can say index 0, but I will use the name so that it is easier. What is the name of this table, this field? This field, let's look at the name over here. First one is room number. So look at here, R is in capital and N is in capital. It should come here because it's an associated array. It should, this capitalization should match. So this room number, what you have typed, R is in capital, N is in capital. It must match the field name. Just click on the, go to the your what is MySQL, and it must match here, otherwise you will get an error. So be careful with that. So let's start with the one more column. I'm going to just copy a few of them so that it's easier. What is the second column name? So second column name is room type. I'm just copying it, select it, Control C to copy, and come here, Control B to paste it, so that you are 100% sure that it is matching. Again, go here, Control C to copy, and come here and double click, Control V to paste it. Go here, select it, Control C to copy, come back here, double click, Control V to paste it. So simple as that. Okay, so it is 100%, it is matching. So you have done all these things. It's all done. Okay, your while loop is also done. There is while loop. Okay, after this while loop, remember this is the closing bracket of this while loop. Okay, after this while loop, let me go ahead and let me say, once the while loop is over, I'm going to say connection $connection. Why it is not coming here? Did I? Oh, this PHP is missing. Okay, dollar connection. And I'm going to say close. Done. Okay, I think this PHP is not required. Unnecessary way to put the PHP and other things. So this is the end of the table and end of this thing. So you just get the connection and close the connection. Let me see, save it, and let me go here and let's click here and then press enter, and you get this one thing over here. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's add the room number 102, and it is double deluxe. uh, 4 people can stay, let's say. It is booked, let's say. Okay, and you notice immediately it is coming over here. Okay, there are two reasons why it I have done brought it here. One is, as you add more and more, can you see there, as you add more number of rows, this is going to go down. Now suppose if I had put this particular thing below this table, then what will happen is, as the number of room increases, this thing will go down, and then somebody has to scroll down and find out what is it. It's not a good idea. Other one is, if when I make this booking, let's say I'm going to book this room now. Suppose if this was before, this table was before this, particular table was displayed before this booking, what would have happened? What would have happened is, you can try that thing. If I make the booking here, so let's say 102, and if I say check-in, okay, now look at it here, this is booked now, it must be available. The minute I say uh, it is, sorry, it is already booked. So this thing already booked. So I'm going to say checkout. So the minute I say vacated, it is automatically highlighted over here. Suppose this table was before this, what would have happened is this particular value would have been still booked, but you would have said that 102 was vacated. So last update will lag by one step, okay, whether it's booked or unbooked or anything. Last step, last particular thing will lag. So that is why after updating, remember, after updating, you show the table. Before updating, if you show the table, then this table will show the last value, but your updates will happen after showing the table. So remember, once the table is shown, then if you make the updation, it is highlighted in the database, but it is not shown on the screen. So that's the reason. There are two good reasons. Now you may say that why can't you put it back? You try on your own and you will finally agree that this story is going to work for your examination. Okay, here they have not said that it should come in this particular order, okay, because according to them this line was there before. That is where this textbooks and two checkboxes were before. So that's I'm adding it here and then listing all the content. And this is you may say that what is D&D? D&D are for the status. Okay, now I'm going to make one last thing. What is one last thing? Because I know I can access the database. I'm going to go to the browse here, and I'm going to click on this one. Okay, I'm going to say edit, and I'm going to change this available status to unknown, some unknown status. You can say something else, under repairs. Let's say you go. Now this room number 1 is repairs. Let me show you this. Where is it gone? Yeah, let me go here. Room number single 101 is under repairs. I'm going to go here 101 and I'm going to check into this room. What must happen? Okay, unexpected error status, unexpected status in the room. It is under repairs, so you can't book this one. 101, can you check out? Again, the same story, because it is unexpected, you can repair. So something can happen. Okay, so this is what they have said last. So not in the expected status. So what is your expected status is either available or booked, are the two expected status. Now this one is not in the expected status, it is under repairs or under maintenance. Repairs means maintenance, you know very well. I'm not good in English, so I say repairs. In your good English, you say it is under maintenance. Okay, so if it is under maintenance, you can check in, you can't check out. Okay, so who is going to make the changes after the maintenance is over? They may say that they may come here and then they may change this. Where is this edit story gone? Then they may say that it is now available. They may, after repairs, they may say that, after maintenance, they may say that it is available. Now if you look at the status of this room, it is available. Can you check in now? The answer is obviously you must be able to check in. Okay, so that I have taken care of that also. But a very important thing, during the examination, not this one, what is it coming in between? Okay, so in the examination, insert 5 records. And dear student, again and again I am telling you, some of you really don't know what you're doing. So first thing, you must know what you're doing. For again, let me tell you, this particular field, I have to tell you this because I have seen many students doing. This field is a primary key. Remember that. And if you don't remember this, primary key values cannot repeat. I have seen 101 students doing this mistake. They themselves have created this as primary key, and when they add it, they are going to add it as the room number as 102 again. You cannot do it. 102 is already taken up in the primary key values cannot repeat. You call your external examiner and you type that thing, they think that your program is not working. Okay, unnecessarily don't invite trouble by doing something terribly wrong. So this is the advice that I want to give it to you. With that, I think I have taken care of all the questions that they have asked, and this is the end of it. Okay, so thank you for your interest, and we will meet again in the next exercise. Thank you.